Hello everybody, this is VerticalSandwich and welcome back to Let's 100% Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and we're going to do the Vigilante missions. Now, I know I have a tank here, and it was in the Vercetti Mansion garage, if you want to know how it got there. Before the cop uniform became available to me, I posted it as a bonus video, but basically I got a 5-star wanted level and I stole it. That bonus video also has an exploitation of a glitch where you can fly under the city, just to kind of show that you can fly under the city. Alright, so we started Vigilante missions, and the way these work is that you get in a vehicle, any police vehicle, and there are several, and then you push the R3 button, it's an R3 mission, and it'll spawn criminals that you then have to destroy, you have to kill them. And you can do that any way you want. The only real variation is that if you use the Hunter helicopter, two things. First, the mission's called Brown Thunder instead of Vigilante. And second, you can listen to the radio. You can actually, the Hunter helicopter is the only Vigilante vehicle that plays radio stations. All the others play the stupid dispatch radio. So I use the tank, and any car that hits the tank explodes. And so you can just blow up these people's cars. So I actually turn the gun around backwards, because if you alternate between accelerating and firing the gun when the gun's turned backwards, the gun actually acts as a speed boost. So it works to make the tank go faster. The tank actually is a pretty quick vehicle if you operate it that way. Just interesting tank side. So anyway, so we're just going to run into 12 levels of criminals, essentially. We discussed that you could maybe use the FBI Washington to do this and paint and spray it. The good thing about the Vigilante mission that's different than most of the other R3 missions is you can actually get out of the tank, or get out of your vehicle and get into a different one. When you get out of your vehicle, it'll give you 60 seconds to get back into a law enforcement vehicle before the mission ends. So yeah, so this should be reasonably quick. Although I meant to do these in South Beach, or the South Point, or whatever it's called, Beach Point, or because the winding roads and all the turns actually make it a little. It's a harder area to kind of navigate, but the criminals spawn in a closer proximity. Like, this island's really wide, or really long, and kind of skinny. So, spawn missions here tend to be a little further spread apart. So, and it's a personal preference. But I started it over there, and it led me over here. So, I wasn't real happy about that, but what are you gonna do? If you use the Hunter helicopter to do these missions, which you very easily can, if you do that, do it over the airport. Like, trigger the mission over the airport, because then most of your criminals will spawn in actually driving around the open area of the airport, which makes them super easy. Also, if you do it with a Hunter helicopter, don't use the missiles. See, we're already up to level 7. We're 3 minutes in. Don't use the missiles on the Hunter helicopter. Only use the automated machine gun, because that'll keep your wanted level down. Using the missiles kind of acts like using the grenades or the rocket launcher, where it's just way easier to trigger a wanted level that won't go away. Whereas the machine gun's auto-target. So if you just hover behind and above somebody and shoot, then you'll blow up their vehicle. So there's not really a whole lot to say about the Vigilante missions. The only danger really with doing it with the tank is if you end up going slow, you may get pulled out. You're going to get a pretty heavy wanted level, which is going to slow you down a lot in the later stages. And wait, there's something else I want to say. Oh, and the tank can conceivably explode. If you drive a tank around long enough with people just slamming into it over and over and over, I mean, eventually the car explosions can take out the tank. Alright, a little bit more on the mechanics of the Vigilante vehicles, because it's worth noting. The Vigilante vehicles also work differently than the paramedic missions, because you get a bonus every time you clear a level, and it goes on to the time you have left from the previous level. So actually, you can bank a lot of time on this mission, which is good, because then if you get a spawn point that's hard, or you get a lot of guys, or one of them gets away, you have a good amount of time. So this this mission is actually pretty forgiving. And the reward for this is a 50-point bonus in your body armor, which is handy. So yeah. So those are all the reasons to do it, and those are kind of all the considerations. I've never done this. I've done the hunter mission, or the hunter vigilante mission, to level 12, just to see how it is, like in a game where I'd already done the vigilante missions. But I've never done it in anything other than a tank for my actual gameplay. So, and it seems to me to be the quickest method, because you really are, all you're doing is just driving into these yellow points. But I suppose if you were really good with the hunter, you could do it quicker. I can't imagine in any other vehicle using weapons that this would be easier. Although I suppose you could strategically drive ahead of people and jump out and shoot them with rocket launchers or chain guns. The chain gun actually would be really good. Like I said, this is one of the things, I'm pretty good about experimenting with kind of alternate methods to do things in this game, but I haven't really done that with the vigilante missions, in all fairness. They've always seemed, I think they were the first R3 mission I ever successfully completed, because a coworker of mine just said, like, oh, just here's how you steal a tank, go do this, when I was talking about playing the game. And so I did it, and I've just always done it that way ever since. So yeah, that's my history with the vigilante mission as well. Ugh, people are shooting at us all over the place. See, this is what I said though, is as far as, okay, turn into the flip. Anyway, that's another danger, is when you're doing the gunfire, the tank does go fast enough that you can flip it and you can roll it. And the tank will burst into flames if you roll it, if you flip it on its top. So, but try not to do that either. So, and there are other things that we're gonna, the tank actually is the tank is another aspect of this vehicle that kind of operates as a cheat. Is that it's super armored, and obviously it has this gun. And there are things that you can do with it that really the game is not designing you to use a tank for. We're gonna do some of those coming up. I mean, obviously we're gonna explore every possibility of making this game kind of easier to 100%, because because it's, I don't know, this isn't the roughest game in the world to play. I mean, there are definitely other games. That I actually was talking to a friend about this, about how I'm one of those people who has trouble not 100% completing games, and I can't do Final Fantasy X for the life of me, because there's that dodge 200 lightning bolts thing. That's insane. It's insane. I'm gonna say it again. It's insane. So yeah, so see how we just tear up the road here. One of the problems with that again though is that the reaction to hitting a car is really overblown. You're going so fast that you can flip really easily. But again, I mean, I suppose there's a disadvantage to every aspect of the kind of vigilante missions. Again, except the hunter helicopter, unless you're horrible at flying. If you're horrible at flying, I mean, obviously I wouldn't recommend that. But I actually have a lot of trouble with the hunter helicopter missions, because I'm just not great with the controls and with the aspect of flying after the criminals. One of the bad parts about doing the hunter mission in the airport, too, is that there are those underpasses that people go under. And you have to kind of hover above and wait for him. Look at that guy bounce! Oh my god, that guy just bounced! Oh, that's awesome. And for me, the tank's just fun. When I used to play this when I was younger, and this game was a lot fresher than it is now, I used to do a lot of driving the tank for fun, just going out and driving the tank. So, not so much anymore. Now I'm much more of a fan of actually just, loading myself up with weaponry and seeing how long I can last against the police forces. That stuff's fun. Look at these guys are down in Phil's place. Ah, it's such a crazy spawn point. See, this is why I don't push the cannon forward. Is because number one, people can run up to you because the cannon or the tank's not fast, and two, it's horrible. It's a horrible weapon. It's hard to aim. It's hard to actually hit things with. It's just ridiculous. So except there, that was a great blind shot. Oh, the junkyard. This isn't Phil's place. Also, I just want to comment on how effective a strategy it would be if somebody was actually running around with a tank, going on like a criminal rampage. How effective a strategy it would be to just throw law enforcement vehicles underneath it until it exploded. It seems like there would be far more effective ways to attack a tank than just to run into it consistently, especially if running into it was basically a suicide mission. So, I mean, as it really, it makes you question the design of the game on at least some level, that these people are so hyper-vigilant about their job, they're just slamming themselves into this tank knowing that they're gonna die, or that they're all so deluded about the nature of a tank that they really think that their little like SUVs can take out a tank. It just doesn't, you know, it doesn't work on any level for me. I love how those SUVs just bounce off this thing like it's nothing. It's so great. Looks like they're made of styrofoam. Or Super Ball. That's it, they're made of Super Ball. I want an SUV made of Super Ball. No, I don't. Although that would pretty much, I mean, like, it would definitely be, any kind of accident would be interesting. Like, somebody would hit you, like, on the interstate, and you would bounce hundreds of times before you came to rest. Maybe. Actually, Super Ball technology probably has some accident life-saving capability, now that I think about it. Well, if I become a millionaire for making Super Ball cars, you heard it here first. And if that really is a good marketable idea, don't steal my idea. Don't. Obviously, I'm messing around with that. I don't think you'd actually make cars out of Super Ball. So. Although, again, it's a fun idea. I think it's a fun idea. Alright, let's try to shoot these bozos. Look at this! Ugh, I hate this vehicle. Oh my god, I mean, okay, at least, you know, at least this isn't as involved as the ambulance missions. If they had another set of missions that took you an hour, I don't know that I would. Although the taxi one's going to take us a long time. So, but again, you can do that one in short bursts if you want. You can do 10 taxi missions here and 10 taxi missions here. Well, level 11, we only got 2 left. Oh, and these guys are just down here. This is great. But yeah, the taxi missions are going to take a long time, because there's 100 of them. I mean, it's 100 taxi pickups. Look at that. Oh, and the other guys are down there too. Yes. Oh, we completely lucked out. We're going to fit this all in one video. Let's cut the front off. Alright, last set of guys. Why didn't I do it? Oh, we missed a couple. Okay, well, let's kill them too. Alright. Fantastic. So one guy just sitting here waiting for us. Alright, and that's our Vigilante missions. Now we have 50 extra body armor points. And we're not going to do level 13. We're going to go park this thing down in the car lot. Alright, and then paint and spray something, and I'll see you for the next set of missions. And as always, thanks for watching, and you take care.